to that next match. As Riddle's music plays, you gotta think about this. He really hasn't had all that many matches since his debut here. He debuted in the ring against Jake Hager, a fellow MMA star, and then proceeded to win in the Cage of Carnage with his teammates Edge, Christian, Randy Orton, and Bryan Danielson. And now here in his very third match is already fighting for the United States Championship, hitting that signature Randy pose. We get into the champion's entrance. John Silver, the very first United States champion, kind of won it off of maybe a cheap fluke, some would say, as he did somehow manage to pin Randy Orton, as Walter and Finn Balor were on the outside, if I recall correctly, in that fatal four-way for the United States Championship. And then on top of it, he managed to beat Walter recently, and now is walking into his second title defense against Matt Riddle here tonight. And what a strong championship defense this will be for Silver if he can manage to retain his title as well. Matt Riddle having the UFC background, he is pretty damn legit, I'd have to say. And speaking of being legit, he just immediately bellies him straight into the ropes. Has no pause for where he lands. And somehow Silver kicks him in the side of the head and gets Riddle over the top rope, but it doesn't matter because Riddle has knocked him in the face with an elbow and he kicked him in the side of the head, but Silver gave him a little super kick as he now climbs to the top rope, and he gives him a diving foot stomp. Maybe something we could see when he goes to face this man and Finn Balor, someone who is actually watching who he could be facing coming up here at Ladder War, which is the next show that we will be doing, our very next pay-per-view in fact. John Silver hits a Death Valley driver on the ring apron that could have definitely did Riddle in, but he goes for a dive in and Riddle caught him in the chest with a kick, and he rolls over with that gut wrench suplex, and he now drops him down with a power bomb, rolls him through and pops him in the mouth with a knee. Is that it for Silver and his title defenses? We've got the number 2, but there's no pencil. We didn't get the 3. And Riddle just drags him straight back up to his feet, pops him up for a brainbuster, but Riddle got reversed, and Silver hits a brainbuster of his own. Kind of looked like he killed Matt Riddle there for a minute. And now what is he doing? Oh, deadlift German suplex to Matt Riddle, something Matt Riddle himself is not afraid to do. Running European uppercut from John Silver. What is he looking to do? Oh, Silver just throws him over the top rope as Riddle tried to grab the top to save himself. He went for a dive but got caught, and he just got caught in that last call fall away slam. I don't know why I called it the last call. I think that might have been a JBL move there. But Riddle goes for the floating bro Derek, and wow, what a move of perfection there, as he essentially was like posing for the camera mid-air. Now what else is Riddle going for? Riddle picks him up and hits him with that GTS, rolls through and hits him with that snap German suplex, dropping Silver right on his head. But Silver gets back up and eats an RKO for his troubles. Is that it? Will that end Silver's title reign? And it does not. Silver somehow kicks out in the very first title defense of the night, as he just got hit with that inverted neutralizer. I'm not exactly sure what that's called off the top of my head again, but he goes for that floating bro Derek yet again. But Riddle, he got distracted, and Silver, he's taking advantage. Silver hits the Meat Man bomb from Brett's rope. And is that it? It is it. Silver retains his championship here in the very first championship matchup on Legends Night. What a great matchup to get into this championship series. Well, I guess before we get into our Intercontinental Championship triple threat, we have a little visit from the dead man himself. He is the Reaper of Souls. He is the Undertaker. Well, before the lights were turned off on The Undertaker, he was making a challenge for Night of Defiance against any man on the roster. Well, Paul Ellering was hinting at the fact that he had a man lined up to face Taker at Night of Defiance, but I don't know if Karrion Kross is going to make much of a difference when the Brothers of Destruction are in the same ring. Oh boy, we've got the Acolyte Protection Agency, also known as the APA. Karrion Kross backing down right away as he knows he doesn't have to get himself lined up in this danger, as War Machine and Pete Dunne have taken a triple choke slam here on Legends Night, and the night can only get more epic for Well, I'm happy we're back on the air after that hack interrupted our broadcast yet again for the fourth following week in a row, if I recall correctly. But now we are getting into our Intercontinental Championship triple threat match, where the winner will not just walk away with the championship, but can also walk away with MJF's spot in the Case of Defiance ladder match, as MJF runs away and sits out here in front of my broadcast table. We've got Austin Aries hitting that discus forearm, and he goes after Kushida yet again, but he dives out here and takes out MJF right here in front of me. as Kushida falls in and takes both Aries and MJF out. Aries kind of looked like he was taking MJF out with an elbow right before that, though. I couldn't tell you, though, as Kushida does roll MJF into the ring, and he hits that rolling senton over the top rope. What else can Kushida look for here as he goes straight in for the Kimura lock? Nice and early, trying to make MJF tap out. But will he get MJF to tap out? He does not, and instead MJF gets trapped into that little pin there. And MJF is forced to kick out as he tries to escape, but Kushida just makes him smack face first into the ring mat. I want to say that's what happened there at least, as MJF somehow made it to the ropes, but he was not able to make it out of the way of that super kick, as Kushida turns around quick and drops a leg from inside the ring to the outside, as Austin Aries makes his legs fly as he hits Kushida with a flying drop kick. As now Austin Aries hits a springboard elbow to MJF in the ring. This has a lot of action going on, quick and right away, as now MJF is in another pinning predicament, but he kicks out as Austin Aries lifts him up for a brainbuster, and MJF gets out of it. He looks for something there, but Austin Aries reverses it, picks him right back up, and he hits. No, he hits the brainbuster now. Austin Aries going right back into the cover as he should, and MJF still manages to kick out after that beautifully executed brainbuster, and MJF manages to get out of that German suplex and hits him with that arm breaker. What is MJF posing here for? I don't know, but he just ate a discus elbow for his troubles. And Kushida comes flying in with that kick to the chest to Austin Aries, as he now super kicks MJF. And he super kicks Austin Aries, and he's now feeding into the crowd a little bit here. As what's Kushida looking for? Oh, he picks him up in that sleeper hold and hits him with a sleeper slam. That was a pretty interesting maneuver here from Kushida, as he picks the arm of MJF yet again for that Kimura lock. As Austin Aries looks like he's climbing to the top rope, MJF picked Kushida up, and 450 splash has been connected to Kushida, and MJF steals the pinfall here. And he got the first elimination. There still can be a new champion, but it will not be Kushida, as both Austin Aries and MJF stand in the middle of the ring. MJF eats a forearm. He delivers one back to Austin Aries. Austin Aries gives him a secondary. MJF comes back, and Austin Aries with a third. We've got a nice little back and forth sequence here from Austin Aries and MJF. One man known as the greatest man alive. One man known as the devil, who just ate a chop and gave Austin Aries a low blow for his troubles. Austin Aries gets rolled up into a pin. Will he kick out? Can he kick out? And he does manage to kick out. And what can MJF do from here? Of course, the devil's got to have some sort of tricks up his sleeve, but he's also only got one arm. And he also just ate a low blow himself. But who? Tyler Breeze! Tyler Breeze may have just cost Austin Aries the Intercontinental Championship, let alone that spot in the case of Defiant. And he does. Tyler Breeze has screwed over Austin Aries here tonight. One out of the two men that made him pass out last week have been screwed this week. Well, that was an interesting interaction between Adam Cole and the Club as we get into our Tag Team Championship matchup of the night between Tag Team Champions The Shield and the men coming out known as the Vigilantes. We've got Darby Allin and the Icon Sting. Now, this has been a pretty interesting story that's been developing over the past number of weeks. We had the Shield screw Darby Allin in his American Nightmare Open Challenge to Darby kind of getting screwed in a fatal four-way that was essentially a 3-on-1 handicap match. And then Darby Allin took all that, shoved it straight back into the system, burnt it to the ground, and has now earned himself a Tag Team Championship matchup against the Shield. Or, well, he beat it out of him, I guess you could say, as, oh boy, Sting's coming out with the special music tonight. We've got Seek and Destroy by Metallica playing for the Icon here tonight, as he now makes his way out to ringside with his protege, his essential son here in wrestling, Darby Allin, as they both make their way out here. Darby repping the Sting mask, and both men carrying bats in hand. Both men are prepared for a fight, and I can only imagine the fight they are willing to bring to the Shield here tonight. Speaking of, the Shield, their music is now hit, and both men are making their way here into the arena as we have Jon Moxley and Seth Rollins representing their three-man team. Roman Reigns, of course, will be fighting in the Case of Defiance ladder match, which kind of made him not want to work any of the tag matches. And I can't say I blame him. He's got two other men. You might as well freebird it, whether that was the intention or not. I can't speak for the Shield, but what I can speak for is the fact that we are about to get this matchup on their way. And the referee has now rung the bell. And we've got Moxley and Darby starting it off hot as Darby immediately goes for a Stung Dog Millionaire. But he got reversed into whatever that move was. I'm not even exactly sure. Moxley picks him up for a powerbomb, but Darby reverses it and sends him to the outside while also kind of getting his foot caught in the rope. And he goes to dive to the outside, and just kind of like Silver earlier has been reversed, sent into the ring post, and power slammed onto the apron. And now Moxley running over to the barricade and clotheslining the hell out of Darby Allin, turning him inside out. And now he's just bragging to the crowd as he picks him up for that X-Plex. And he drops him on the apron. Yet another maneuver done on the hardest part of the ring here by Moxley as he boots him into the corner. We still technically have one more championship matchup to go to as Darby Allin reverses Moxley here in the second to last championship matchup. Technically, we've still got two more matches to go after this as Moxley has now been distracted by the potential challengers in Edge and Christian, as they do have a tag team championship opportunity, but they have not confirmed when they are cashing in said opportunity as well. Moxley has cashed in that tag-in opportunity from Seth Rollins, and they're picking him up for a double power bomb, and Sting trying to prevent it, and they don't care. Darby rolling into that little barricade over here next to me as the announce table did not break, and Sting is furious that the referee won't let him help. But will it matter? It does not matter all that much as Sting still can't get to Darby, but Darby's now getting taken back out with that clothesline that almost sent him and Moxley over the barricade. But it doesn't matter, both men are on the floor, and Sting has been sent flying in a move that is totally worth the holy shit moment as Darby springboards off the barricade with that coffin drop. As now Sting feeding a couple of combos here to Jon Moxley as he hits him with that back fist with a singular shot straight up from his left arm. I don't know how much that's really hurting Moxley, as it must not have hurt him that much, as Mox catches him in the Paradigm Shift, also known as the Death Rider, as Darby looks to hit a coffin drop but got a little distracted, kind of like Riddle did earlier. But unlike Riddle, he didn't get hit with a finisher right away, instead got rolled up and now has been hit with a super kick that has folded Darby inside out. Darby's still managing to kick out though, and I don't even understand how. But what's Seth looking for here? It doesn't matter as Darby rolls him up and has caught him in a Last Supper. Will Seth manage to kick out? He does. It's definitely brought up a little bit of concern here with Jon Moxley as Sting pops up, sends him into the little podium over next to me. Oh, and he's putting him up on there. Gives him a little straight shot to the back. But we gotta go back to the action in the ring as Darby hits the code red to Seth Rollins. Will Seth Rollins kick out? He does. And Darby Allin gets up immediately, but oh, Sting sends Jon Moxley flying in a moment that kind of reminded me of Kenny Omega being thrown from up there not all that long ago. Oh, and Seth Rollins, he reverses whatever Darby was going for into that package suplex. Darby manages to kick out though, as Sting was getting ready to break that up. Moxley is still hurt here over in his corner, and Darby makes the tag to Sting. And Sting eats a super kick immediately and stays right on his feet and clotheslines the hell out of Seth Rollins, taking his head damn near off as Seth returns the favor with that jumping enziguri, but it doesn't take Sting off his feet, and in fact now that pedigree does. But Seth goes to get up and Sting pops right up. Sting beating on his chest, letting him know he's still got 100% fuel in that tank. He's not running off adrenaline yet. As he goes to pick Sting up for that buckle bomb, the same move that ended Sting's career years ago, Sting just pops out the corner and hits him with another clothesline. Sting is an unstoppable beast right now. And the Icon goes in for the Stinger Splash, a move that he has made famous throughout the years as he hits him with that back body drop. Now what's Sting looking for? Oh, he gets him down, he rolls him through, and he's got the Scorpion Deathlock locked in. What is going to happen from here on? Oh, Moxley runs into the ring. He rolls in, and he catches himself back up into that lunatic lariat. But it doesn't stop Stinger. In fact, Moxley now gets hit with that coffin drop. And now Darby's rolled him through. We've got a double Scorpion Deathlock. And will Seth Rollins tap out here tonight? I don't know, but man, this is making me lose my breath. We could be seeing the end of the Tag Team Championship reign here from Jon Moxley and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, as all three of them hold it together, but Moxley manages to roll through and he knocks Sting out with Darby. Now he picks Sting up and hits him with that pile driver as Darby gets sent over the top rope with that buckle bomb. And Sting picks him up, and he sends Moxley into Seth Rollins with that suplex. And he hits Rollins with that tombstone as Darby hits a coffin drop. But it doesn't matter as Moxley hits that Death Rider to break up the pin. Regal knee. And Seth Rollins comes in with the curb stomp. Moxley with a curb stomp. This has to be the end. And is it the end? It is. The Shield have beat the Vigilantes. Oh boys, ENC versus the Shield, TLC at Ladder War. They are cashing their opportunities in. Well, Paul Orndorff talks about introducing a new star. We've got Punk, Finlay, The Rock, and Stone Cold talking with Eric Bischoff. And Kenny Omega's being seen by the doctor, making sure he's cleared for the second to last match. As up next, we've got the all-inclusive Battle Royal for the last spot in the case of Defiant's ladder match. So stay tuned, everyone.